Yep.
All right. So this is the Aleph Bet, the alphabet. This is the Hebrew first and second letter. And every Hebrew letter was a symbol before it became a letter. So there were connections of symbols to make words. So the Aleph is the Hebrew letter for ox, where you see in Proverbs 14:4, where there's no oxen, the manger is clean, much increase comes by the strength of an ox. You'll see this word Aleph that is representing the ox. And then Bet is the Hebrew word for house. So you have the symbol of a house, which is also the word for house, which is Bet, which is this symbol right here. So this Aleph symbolizes power, and this is the symbol for the house. So who is the power in the house? This is the Hebrew word Av, which is father. So he's the head of the house, he's the power in the house. And so you see right from the get-go, the Aleph Bet, the first two letters of the Hebrew Bible spell the word Father, because he is the originator of everything. The father of lights, the father of glory, the father of a family is the one who initiates the family and makes it, he builds a house with that. So that's good, that's the Aleph Bet. So the next one I wanted to point out is the Hebrew word for truth. I'm going to give you truth versus lie. This is a really important dynamic when it comes to how Hebrew is connected. Truth is so essential to our relationship with God and our relationship with man, because Art Katz points out that you were created to live in truth. So this is Aleph, Mem, Tav. Aleph on your right, Mem in the middle, Tav is the last letter in the word. Now, Aleph, Mem, Tav is the Hebrew word for truth, and it is the first letter, the middle letter, and the last letter of the Hebrew Aleph Bet. So you have the first, the middle, and the last. Very structured, very orderly, and it has a loaded meaning. So what you have is the Hebrew word for truth, where it's structured, orderly. It's the first, the middle, and the last letter. And Jesus said, I am the truth, and this is what he meant, that everything outside of him is untrue or unreal. There's no Greek translation for the word truth. They translate it reality. So Jesus said, I am reality. Everything outside of me is unreal. Now, I like you to keep that in mind with the structure and the orderliness of the word for truth, because it is so essential to know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Contrast the truth with the Hebrew word for lie. This is the Hebrew word shakar or sheker. Lying lips hate those it hurts, that he who believes a lie will not prosper. You have all those dynamics. Now, usually in Hebrew, these letters are like this. You have Kuf, Resh, Shin. This is the order they are in the Hebrew alphabet. But for the word lie, they are out of order. So if you believe a lie, your life is out of order. Now remember, truth is structured and orderly, but the word lie is out of order. So very simply put, to believe a lie, your life is out of order, but to believe the truth, everything comes into being and you are free. If you know the truth will set you free. Brilliant Hebrew nugget regarding truth and lie. Always loved those dynamics. If you ever wondered what was the Hebraic background for I am the Alpha and the Omega, this is how it would look in Hebrew. Basically, the Alpha and the Omega is the first and last letter of Greek, but if Jesus was speaking Hebrew, he said, I am the Aleph and the Tav. I am the first and the last. And Aleph Tav is when Jesus says, I am the first and the last, and of course he is everything in between, because if we go back to I am the Aleph and the Tav, right in the middle of the Hebrew word for truth, remember, is the Mem, the first letter of the word Messiah, Mashiach. So this word reveals much more than just a word connecting letters. It's a symbol and a dynamic and a reality that really transcends human understanding, because there's only one man who claimed to be the truth. You know, many men claim, I have truths, I know truth, etc., etc., but Jesus said, I am the truth. So he's the Aleph and the Tav, the first and the last, and everything in between is the Messiah. But that's not the one I wanted to point out to initially. This is the Aleph Tav again, first and the last. And what you have in Hebrew is, this is the sixth letter of the Hebrew Bible. This is the Vav. A Vav is a symbol for a nail or a tent peg. And when the Hebrews would tell a story, they would say, and then he did this, and then he went there, and then he met this person, and then he said this. This is the Hebrew word for and. So you see, it's a connector, like a nail connects things, or you hang things on a nail, and you make things stable with a tent peg. But for this purpose of this word, which is just brilliant, you have the Aleph and the Tav, and right in the middle you have a nail. This is the Hebrew word for sign, like a sign or a wonder. And what did Jesus mean about being a sign to this generation, or being a sign to the world? The Aleph and the Tav were going to be pierced with a nail. So the Aleph and Tav get pierced with a nail, and it is a sign and a wonder to all who would look on him whom they have pierced. And so you have the brilliance of Hebrew once again revealing the Aleph Tav being pierced with a nail. And interestingly, this is the sixth letter of the Hebrew Bible, one short of seven. The sixth day man was created. And if you've ever seen that Monster energy drink, someone pointed this out, that there are 3 of these on the front of the can for 666. And the motto of Monster Energy is release the beast, or unleash the beast. And, you know, at the end of Revelation 13, talks about the number of the beast, 666. So there's a lot of connections that people either are consciously or unconsciously led by other spirits. But I always thought that was interesting, that the 666 has 3 Vavs on the front of the can of Monster Energy drinks. Release the beast. So that's the 6th letter, the Vav, piercing with a nail, hanging things on it, or a tent peg, poking or piercing. And so they will look on him whom they have pierced. And you can see that very clearly when they take the Aleph and the Tav and they pierce it with a nail, or they pierce him with that. And you see that the Aleph Tav has more meaning than just what we were used to in the Greek when we hear I am the Alpha and the Omega. All right. Pause. Is that good?